Good morning, everybody out there in Radio Land. I'm hearing a lot going on in the last week. You can imagine all of us in Fort Lauderdale and Miami are a little bit underwater right now. If you are an artist and you have been affected by this week's bad weather, let us know how you're doing. Call into the station. Like us, find us on Facebook, on Omega Radio. You can find us on Instagram, on any of the social media programs or platforms. Having a good morning today. We can see a rainbow at the end of the rain. It is possible. And we are happy to bring it to you. One of the things that I've always learned as my creative journey continues is that you have to be resilient. Be ready to bounce. Be ready to pivot. Be ready for change. Be ready to edit, erase, use those tools, start over again. If you are a local artist being affected by this week's bad weather, we want to give you more than thoughts and prayers, and we want to help you. If you are running a fundraiser or a service drive, our fellow broadcasters at Channel 10 CBS Miami are running a neighbors to neighbors drive that you can get online in their app or on any of their social media programs. Again, that's CBS Miami, Local 10 News right here in South Florida. I have taken my sketchbook to a lot of places. I've gone to London. I've gone all across the Caribbean. And I know there are a lot of great artists out there who don't know they're great yet. We can help you with all kinds of great advice, fun tips, and local programs to get you started on your creative journey, because that's what the creative space is all about. Finding and spotlighting local artists, giving terrific advice, hopefully, to people on techniques and new things to learn, and sharing local programs, great information, all the way across the Caribbean, as it turns out, to Jamaica. If you want to call in, you can. We are on the air right now with all kinds of terrific information for you in the way of how to stay resilient in times where art gets tough. Right next to me, I am still carrying my favorite artistic tool. It's a little cigar box about 6 by 9 inches. It opens. You can put your paints in it. You can put a paintbrush in it. It's about as big as a cigar box. You can fit it in a backpack. You can fit it in a purse. It's got a handle so you can hand carry it wherever you want to go. You can find art anywhere. This weekend, we were privileged and lucky enough, at least I was anyway, to reach my 59th year. Yesterday was my birthday. And you do think a lot on your birthday. You want to thank all the wonderful people, especially here at Omega Radio, who are publicly and listener supported. So call in, pray for us, because God knows we need it too. If you are in our listening area, which I am quite sure you are, and you have a good story, we are so happy to hear it. You can contact me on my webpage at www.cmscreationsart.com. You can find me on any of my social media platforms at CMS Creations Art. I have an online gallery and a home studio right here in Coral Springs. If you want to call and pay a visit, you can. Just keep in touch on any of our social media platforms. We are also new on Instagram at Kathy Shapiro, and we are glad to hear you there too. Good news in regards to one of my beginner guests on the very first broadcast. My friend Anna Gonzalez from the Pink Cave was in a very similar situation to a lot of people these days. She's in transition. She was moving from one place to another. She tells me she took her paints and all her art out of storage and put them in her trunk. And she is now at a new place in Hollywood, thank goodness, and you can still find her online at Anna's Paint Cave on LinkedIn and other connecting social media platforms. I cannot tell you enough about all the terrific means there are these days for artists to get connected out there in the virtual world. But the most important thing for us is to get connected in the personal world, which means you got to get out there. If you have a little box, a little suitcase, a little bag, have at it. Carry it with you. Put it in your purse. Oh, thank you. That is fabulous. We are getting a message as we speak. Thank you very much. Thank you to all our listeners. I'm trying. I can't see it.
Miss Catherine Shapiro, we do have a viewer that's tuned into the Creative Space. She says, "Good morning, Miss Shapiro. Thank you for always helping me. You are a blessing. May the Lord continue to use you. You are a sharpened tool in the name of the Lord."
Amen, sister. I'm telling you what, I am so happy to hear this. We all have our tools. I have my paintbrush. You have your pen. Our wonderful engineer, hi, we are fine, has her microphone. She is fabulous and even makes me look good. I am very good this morning. We are a little soggy, but we are not damaged or flooded out in any way, thank God. And we are happy to hear and help anybody who is. So jump in there and call in if you need to and let us know what you need. Thank you so much, y'all. And we'll be back in a minute.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. No, no. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom. Trying hard to fill the emptiness, the peace is gone. Left the puzzle undone, and die the way it is. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down.
Hello, Dean, out there. Are you still in Omaha, Nebraska? Well, we get a ways, don't we? Dean is a dear friend of mine who was in South Florida at one time, moved, and maybe he's come on back. We love that you love the Omega family, and we are here for you, just like you were there for me a long time ago. Dean is a wonderful creator of fabulous furniture. He makes amazing things out of recovered wood. He did a bed frame for me one time. He's done fabulous holiday decorations. He builds all kinds of wonderful furniture, and he can be contacted and located on my webpage, which is cmscreationsart.com. Good morning. Thank you, Dean. We really appreciate you being there too. And thank you for calling in. We love to hear from our viewers and listeners and Facebook friends and Instagram buddies. And anybody who wants to join in can do so on any of the social media platforms. Now, if you are on the go as an artist, you know it's easy to find the inspiration, sometimes hard to find the time. If you can create a space of 5 minutes and you have your phone, that is the easiest thing in the world. You get online, there are all kinds of free sketch programs, free sketch apps. You get in, you make little sketches, then you go on to bigger. That's what happens. When you are first starting your creative journey, what you want to do is start small. Don't make yourself a goal you can't meet or something that's harder for you. I have also been lucky enough to find a lot of really terrific people out there who do what's called plein air painting. You can go anywhere. You can go to a park. You can go to the boardwalk. You can go to some museums. Some have classes. Some you got to check in, so be sure and call ahead just to find out. But most of them are very, very approachable, and I've even been in a restaurant or two for a while. Make sure they know you're coming, and be sure to maybe have a cup of coffee, say hello. That is one of the best ways I've ever found to find viewers and get to know people in your community, because they got to get out there just like you. So let's see if sometimes you even can have trouble getting your vision in your mind and keeping it there. It's called distraction. It's called life. What I have found extremely valuable for me is what they call a vision board. What you do is you get a big piece of paper, cardboard, anything you can draw or sketch on. Or you can use photographs or all kinds of things. And what you want to do is keep in mind the thing that you want. Look at the big picture. Then put it on your vision board. Put it there in small steps and work your way up. If you want to paint a painting, doodle it first. That's what I always say. Start small, work your way up. If you have trouble choosing colors, start with one. That's what you do. Keep it small, work your way up. But whatever you do, start. You can't finish if you don't start. I have a lot of really terrific guests coming up in the next few weeks. Educator and art teacher Andrea Feldman from Delray Beach. A really wonderful watercolorist, Mike Riley from Oklahoma City. And a young lady that I met coming up the stairs. God works in mysterious ways, I am telling you. I don't even know her name yet, but my goodness, she looks like a fabulous, fabulous artist. And that's what happens. You meet people in little places like elevators, around the corner, at lunch, on your break from work. The first thing an artist has to learn how to do is be confident in themselves and talk. Talk to people. Tell them who you are. Tell them what you do. Never be ashamed of the gifts that God has given you. Never underrate them, because they are given by a divine energy that is so much bigger than us all. And that God is an awesome God. He can help you. He can bring great things to you. But we're partners in the world. When it's broke, we have to try to fix it. When we're in need, we need to give help. For those who have been given much, much is required. And I am checking in out there to find out, here we go. We got another person checking in.
We have Dean Brown. He says, Dean Brown is tuning in on Facebook, and he says, I'm Dean Brown from Jamaica. Nevertheless, still your friend. You've inspired me to continue a book I've started years ago. Want to thank you for that so much.
Oh, thank you. I have been a creative person all my life, and I love writing too. It's one of the biggest ways and most amazing ways that God speaks to us. Keep it going. There are ways to get connected with self-publishers and people who can help you publish your book without having to foot a huge bill or break your budget. You can find these links on my webpage at cmscreationsart.com. And do a Google search. It says self-publish. There are some really great companies out there that are definitely ready to help you. I know there are anthologies like Chicken Soup for the Soul who are always looking for published material. Send it on in. I've got links to them too. If you print, get in touch with your local printer if you're a graphic artist. They are often looking for designs and illustrations for people to use and personalize and give as gifts. I've had all kinds of success with an online platform called Zazzle.com, Zazzle.com. You can get online and create your own great gifts at very reasonable prices, mind you. In fact, as an artist, you can even start your own store for free. You get signed up. They help you personalize it. They give you all kinds of free tools to sell your product and great advice on ways to make it work. When the pandemic came back in 2020, a lot of artists had to do what I call pivot. They had to go completely online from what was usually an outdoor practice, right? You'd go to art shows, you'd visit people out in the world. That was no longer possible after a certain point, and a lot of us had to pivot. What I did was I put a little table out in my front yard, and I offered them free pickup, free payment, and sometimes delivery, where I would drop it off And some of my customers, God bless them, I never even met in person. They were only online, but they were absolutely wonderful people, and I'm good friends with them to this day. There's all kinds of great ways to get in touch with customers, viewers, artists, friends. Use them. That phone is one of the best, smartest devices you will ever have in your life. But your pen, your brush, that is your communication tool. And you don't have a voice if you don't use it. What we'll do next week is we will take a little time to see what it takes to find your voice. Sometimes your voice is in music. Sometimes it's in abstract art. Sometimes it's in watercolor. Sometimes it's in nature. Sometimes you're a cartoonist or an animator. Well, some of my best friends are animators. And they have the same tips. Carry that sketchbook everywhere you go. Find it, use it, and don't lose it. Because every single thing in it is an idea that you can turn into something bigger and make a reality for somebody. We are human beings having a spiritual experience. We need each other. We have each other for a reason. Just because that guy across the table looks different from you, it does not mean he's not a good person. Judge by the character, not the color. Practice peace, and the world will become a much better place. Thank you so much for listening. If you are an artist needing a little bit of support in this difficult time, thank you, Dean Brown. Amen, brother. We are so glad to hear from you in Jamaica. And I will get you in touch with a publisher that can help you. Just get in touch with me at cmscreationsart.com. We are so glad to hear from our viewers.
Dean Brown says the pleasure is all his.
I am so happy to hear from you. If you are a resident in Jamaica, you are totally welcome here to give us a call, just like Dean did. We are so happy to hear from our viewers. We would love to know how our friends in Fort Lauderdale are doing. Please let us know. Thank you, Dean. We are so happy to see you. And the chat on our Facebook page is functioning absolutely fabulously. And I am so glad to hear from everybody. Join me here in the creative space. If you've joined us a little late, my name's Catherine Shapiro. I'm a longtime resident of Coral Springs who found art later in life and want to pass on the knowledge of a creative existence to anybody out there who wants to have one, because it is possible. If you would like to give us a call, the local number is 954-900-4310. The toll-free number is 1-877-494-0253. And in Jamaica, you can call us at 876-613-9129. Again, that's 876-613-9129. Thank you. All right. Dean, I'm so glad to hear from you. If there is anything else I have learned in the journey that I've been taking over the last few years, it's that there are people along the way that you meet. There are teachers. There are bus drivers. There's the occasional Lyft driver. There's the girl at the checkout line. There's the girl with you sitting next to you on the bus. There's a school teacher, a police officer, a firefighter. There's somebody out there struggling just like you are. And if you talk to them and you share what you learn, you can do it. And you know you can do it. We can help you do it. We have to help each other. It's the only thing we've got, and the one thing that shows God through us to other people. Hard to see sometimes. It really is. You know, because like I said, you get distracted. My biggest distraction, believe it or not, is getting stuck. Sometimes you look at that blank canvas and you go, or the blank page in the case of our good friend Dean Brown, and you go, what am I going to do? Well, I tell you what, there are a lot of proven techniques to help you get unstuck. Turn your page upside down. Look at things in a new way. Walk away from it. Come back. Try another tool. If you can't paint, use a crayon. If you can't use a crayon, use your fingers. This is what happens. And it is amazing how even an adult, when they paint with their fingers, feels like a kid again. Make yourself feel like a kid again. We are here to help, and we are so glad to hear from you, our listeners and our viewers. This is Catherine Shapiro in the Creative Space. We're going to take another quick break and be right back with you.
Every day is so wonderful. I am beautiful.
Tune in and listen. Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 10:30 with your host, Catherine Shapiro.
Patricia Bowen Ministries and Old School Gospel Sessions presents Patricia Bowen and Friends live in concert. It's happening on Saturday, April 22nd at Emmanuel Apostolic Church, 12 Slide Road, Kingston 5, Jamaica. Doors open from 6:30 p.m. Showtime 7 p.m. Performing the Grace Thrillers, Orville Sutherland, Jahi Kingston, Petra K, and Tajay. Also in there, Bishop Munnin,